Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I've got another unboxing for you, and today we're doing something McFarlane. This is the new McFarlane DC Multiverse 2-pack featuring Superman, and as I like to refer to him as Doomsday. However, it's actually Batman from Earth 1, from the Dark Knight's Metal comic book series. Both of these figures are available in single form. However, this 2-pack looks incredible already just from the outside of the box. As you can see, there's all this terrain down here for stands. At least I'm assuming they're stands. It looks like they may have pegs in them. But this thing it's heavy too. I mean, boy, got some weight to it. So I've had this for a little while. Been really trying to get to the point where I can unpack it. So I can put it on display and do the unboxing video. Unfortunately, the display area for my McFarlane Multiverse stuff is running out of space very quickly. So I had to move a few things around to make space for it. So I didn't want to open it and then just have nowhere for it to go in it to set on some side shelf until I figured something out. Something like this, I definitely don't want to risk it falling over or possibly getting damaged because, things happen. So, first we're going to look at the box. So as I said right there, you got your Doomsday right there, Batman Earth 1. Then you've got your Superman. Tells you right there on the side as well. Batman Earth 1 and Superman, Batman Dark Knight's Metal. There on the side of the package. On the back here, you actually got and this is, I wish they would do this more often. It's actually a action shot of both the figures, the Doomsday and the Superman. Every other figure that it's advertising on the back here, it's just got the comic book picture artwork for them instead. But this one actually has an action shot of the figures, which I really like. If they could start doing this with every one of the McFarlane figures, I would be insanely happy. Because if anything, there's some of these McFarlane figures I've actually passed up on. Most recently, the Last Night on Earth Batman stuff with the Build-A-Figure for Bane. Inside the package, they just don't look great to me, and so I've kind of been hesitant to pick them up, and I've seen them multiple times, and I've just kind of passed on them. I've got only one figure from that set, and it's mainly because I bought it since it was loose, and it was such a great deal. Otherwise, I'm not really impressed with them just visually on the inside of the package whenever I first see them on the shelf. And sometimes first impressions are what matters most when it comes to your toy stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of things I've bought over the years that didn't look great in package. Once you got it open, wonderful on display and wonderful in hand. So maybe the action shots on the back, if they could start doing that like that, it might, impress the buyers a little bit more and the collectors, and maybe swing them more in the direction of wanting to get them. Otherwise, when you're just given the picture of the comic book artwork, like it is here on the bottom, it gives you one less thing to entice you to buy said product. That, and of course, as everybody else says, maybe less Batman. Maybe, just a little bit. However, this Batman Earth 1 is incredible, so I actually don't mind adding this into my collection. Not to mention, the whole Superman Doomsday idea, that was so huge when I was a kid. Whenever they did the Death of Superman comic book, it was so groundbreaking and such a huge deal that it's something that's ingrained into me as one of the first comics when I was a kid, remembering just growing up and being so visceral and just being like, wow, that's a thing. So really excited to add something of this nature to the collection. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. Enough of me rambling on about who's and what's. The great thing is, I'm glad that I was going to open this. As you can see, I've got some stuff that's still mint on card, or at least I try to keep it that way. I don't know. There's some things I just prefer to keep that way. I don't know what it is about it. I like them, and it's gonna stay that way. I recently had gotten the gold Hellbat from the DC Multiverse line, and I'm gonna keep that bad boy box because it just looks great in package. How I'm going to display it, how I'm going to hang it, I don't know. It's very heavy, which concerns me with the way I have some of my pegs and hooks in the toy room. Mine aren't nails or screws. I use sticky tabs. Can't remember what they're called now. I'm drawing a blank. I'll remember, so I don't halfway through this video. But I use those to stick to the walls because it's mainly bricking, since this room is essentially an add-on to the original structure of the house. So other than that, it's windows. So you got to make do with what you can, and that's what I use for hanging my figs, is those little sticky strips. And they work so far. I've only had a few come down. Fortunately, the few that I have come down have been in figure protectors. That's why I tell you guys, don't forget your clamshells, kids. Which on those, if you need good clamshells for your figures, older ones and even newer ones, there's a website called toyshield.com. It's actually run by by some local collectors and a shop that's native to Oklahoma. So by all means, it's a great product. I just recently discovered that it's a thing. I had to recently get some clamshells protectors for some older WWF Jax figures, but I really wanted to. I was adamant about getting them the protectors just because of how old those figures are. You think those are pretty much past the 20-year mark. So getting those and protectors was a no-brainer. So yeah, so if you need clamshells, hit up Toy Shield. Great options there for that. So we've got these bad boys out of the box, and just holy Toledo, man, those things look incredible. The detail on this Earth 1 Batman, I gotta say, is it Earth 1? Maybe is it Earth I? I mean, it could be an I. I mean, I'm gonna assume it's a 1. So if I'm wrong, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. But the detail on this thing is solid. It's very consistent with McFarlane stuff. That's one thing I will say that has always been a constant with McFarlane products when it comes to action figures. They are such sticklers for detail, and that's great though. And when you're paying, you know, $15, $20 for a figure, you want it to be great quality. You don't want it to be, you don't want it to have paint flaws and, you know, dribble over, smears, things like that. Because, you know, if you're a display guy like me, you really want those things to look as best as they can. You know, because you have your buddies or, you know, family members or something. You want to show off what you have, and you want to look as nice as possible. And so when you have new product, you know, especially in 2021, that's coming off the shelf and it's got paint flaws and things like that you're like, what's up there? It's a little questionable. So in fact, you can actually look back at the Edge unboxing I did recently and see where, you know, instantly out of the package we had an issue with the paint job on the figure. So I mean, it happens. It's not very often, but it is those little things, and I've yet to run into that problem with any McFarlane figures, especially from the DC line. All right, so let's go ahead and try to get these guys out of the plastic. Getting Batman Earth 1 out was very hard. They had him strapped in tight. However, this figure is, I mean, dude, you could probably fling this guy and right through a window. Incredibly heavy. In fact, if I had my scale nearby, I'd actually weigh him just to kind of give you guys an idea. These little postage scales sometimes. And in fact, he weighs more than this stand. Probably 2 to 3 times more, if not more than that. I mean, this thing is very, very light, hollow. But looks good, though. The paint looks great. Lots of detail. This is a very cool stand. See if we can get good old Soups out. Oh, and again, McFarlane has stuck with the time tradition of the rubbery capes. Bold, flex, man, bang up job, McFarlane. I absolutely love it. I don't have any regular Supermans in my collection, so I think this will probably be the one that is considered a regular Superman that I actually have in the collection. Because right now, the only 2 that I have is the Armored Superman, or the Apocalypse Armored Superman, and the Red Sun Superman. Okay, so let's start with Doomsday, Batman Earth 1. I'm going to keep calling him Doomsday, so if that doesn't set well with you, I am horribly sorry. However, you know, hey, it's whatever floats my boat, I guess, right? All right, so right off the bat, so the head, the jaw moves. Look at that. The jaw actually moves. That's awesome. That is a little thing that goes a long way when it comes to these figures. because it definitely gives you options for how he looks. Is he raging in battle, or is he just stomping around Metropolis looking for the old Boy Scout? So we got the hands here. It's kind of hard to see where the articulation is because it's so big, but you can see the joint piece right there. So the hands do go up and down. However, they seem to be very tight and not wanting to move much. And I don't know if I really want to push that or not, which is very odd. I don't have a lot of issues with joint tightness with McFarlane stuff. So this is kind of new. I may want to heat that up first. I can't tell. Okay, so the arm moves there. There we go. Yeah, it's just very tight, which a lot of it may be because of the texturing on the figure. So that could play a small part in that. The claws are rubber, or the claws at the end of the knuckles are rubber. So that's very cool. I like that. Same with the top. All the spikes around him are full blown. These dark gray spots, more often than not, all seem to be rubber. So that's great. Arm joints up top at the shoulders move very well. They do have those double inlay joints right there, as you can see here and then here as well. So that's very nice. Lots of options there. The shorts, or as I like to call them, the Hulk pants, they're also rubber as well. The legs, they seem to work pretty well. Good flexibility, clean motion. The knees, they're a little tight. Okay, kind of expect that. The only thing I'm kind of having some trouble figuring out. Okay, so the way it comes out of the package, the foot is turned sideways, which is fine. It comes out of the package like that because of the way it's positioned in there. But you can see where the foot joint is right there. So you actually want to turn it once you get it out of the package. Put this part first, but that's obviously where the knee is. Turn your foot to where it's kind of in line with it. Then you can actually move the foot up and down. It's tight, but it works. Which, here's the thing. On the foot and ankle joints, I will not complain about them being tight. And it's a simple case of physics on this. When it's this heavy, if these are not tight, this thing is just going to fall over every single time. You can have it pegged in all you want, but if those joints aren't tight, it's gonna move, it's gonna shift, and it's gonna fall over. So those I do not mind being, the leg joints I don't mind being tight. It's a necessity at that point. We got your little Batman symbol right there. That's very cool. Man, I'm very impressed with this. The eyes looks good. It seems like there might be a tiny touch. Excuse me. A little tiny touch of bleed over on the red paint right there at the top. But nowhere near as much as the bleed over we had on the Edge figure. So, if anything, that can almost be like red lighting. So it's slightly excusable there. Not so bad. Mid torso joint right there as well. Pretty flexible. Moves pretty well. Can't complain. Yeah, I mean, look at that, guys. That is insane. Beautiful figure. I'm incredibly impressed with this. I love that, he does have at least one open hand. So if you have like a Hot Wheel in your collection or something like that, you just want to just stick in his hand, he's just chunking that sucker at Superman. I mean, all for it. So, okay, awesome. I dig it. We've also got two base stands in case you don't have the room for the stand that came with the figures. You can also use them as well. So there you go. The two standardized DC stands. We've also got both the cards, which again have actual figure shots rather than shots in the comic. Good job, McFarlane. Keep this up. I would much rather have this right here. I'd much rather have this than the comic shots. So keep that up. That looks incredible. So I like that. Great cards. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and look over Superman real quick. Stand old Doomsday over here. Batman, whatever. Don't yell at me. Actually, yeah, if you want to yell at me and complain about me calling it Doomsday, comments, go ahead. Have at it. I'd say, send your hate tweets to @hey, it's Conrad Thompson. However, he would go, who are these toy nerds messaging me and hate tweeting me? And I like Conrad, and I like his shows, and I'm not trying to stir the pot. I mean, I'm a nobody, so who am I to try to cause him grief? But hey, then again, I don't know. Could be fun. Maybe do that. or say, hey, Conrad, check out this guy's show. I know you don't like toys, and I think, geeky things are stupid, and you always knock Tony Schiavone for it, but here. Okay, enough rambling. Sorry, guys. It's early. I've had a lot of coffee, and this 2-pack's incredibly cool, so I'm really excited about it. All right, so this Superman. First off, the face on it. That face, it's a great facial expression for a figure, especially if you're going to have it in a battle scene setup with the Batman, Doomsday. I really dig that. The hair's on point. It's always got the standard edition Superman curl. The hands, no extra hands come with it. I don't believe. No, see, empty, no hands. So you do have kind of like a knuckle grip kind of hand. I really like that. And of course, a fist. Then you can just fly in and just punch him in the face. That's great. He has all the same flexibility that you would expect from a McFarlane figure in terms of being able to be posed. And something real quick I did forget to do with Doomsday Batman, whatever. That we better do now. All right, guys. What are we going to test for? Ready? It feels so good. Toe articulation. If you've seen any of my McFarlane videos, you know, as stupid and as small as it is, that is my favorite piece of articulation on these figures, is that toe articulation. Seems unnecessary to some, but me, I love it. I love it. It's such a small detail, and I can't thank McFarlane enough for putting such a small little thing on these figures, because it really does mean the world. Because even Superman, he's got it too. So there we go. Love it. Okay, something else I will say that I like about the Superman. It is the original Superman design. It is not the new 52 Superman, which doesn't have the red tights. And the reason why I say that is because this is the Superman design I grew up on. The only thing I wish it would have is the S on the back of the cape. I know that's also not standard, really. Some forms of the Superman design do have it. But, I mean, I do like whenever they do put the S on the back of the cape. But at the same time, it's still the classic Superman design, so I am completely okay with it. Also, this red S is kind of a reflective chrome red, which I really like. Nice little touch there. So between the facial expression, and the S, this thing really stands out. I mean, if you look, you're like, it's going to catch your eye, because you're like, why is that Superman grimacing so hard? I mean, it's really nice. I really do dig it. In fact, I had bought an extra flight stand to use for another figure that I had gotten. I was hoping it was nearby and we could go ahead and test it out real quick, but I guess I don't know where I put it. And yeah, that's me being prepared, right? Sorry, guys. Killing time in the video. Not trying to, I promise. I was just trying to do something cool and, poor planning and stuff. So, okay. Let's go ahead and put this Superman on the stand. We're going to see how he holds up on the stand. Fortunately, on this one, the cape does not touch the ground, so that's great. That saves you a little bit of hassle, because sometimes when the cape is that long, you could run into issues with it, maybe dragging the standing area, and that could cause issues with it holding down. So I feel like there might be a tiny bit of a weight distribution issue, because it does feel like the Superman, when he's on the stand, it's not wanting to flush with the feet aren't wanting to stay flush with the stand. It's almost like he's kind of lopsided, if that makes sense. Try to hold it there. I mean, it holds. The peg's very tight, so it will hold. However, I probably need to find a way to, I don't know, maybe offset the legs or something to make it stand a little more evenly. But it does hold on the stand very well, so that's okay with me. I don't think I'll use the Doomsday on this stand. You have this. So, on this stand, you have one foot peg right there, which I'm going to guess is for the Doomsday. His foot fits right into it. I mean, like a glove, it appears. So let's see if we can get it on the peg and see how well it fits and see how easy it is to get on the peg. So I guess maybe you put one foot in the peg, and then the other foot you'll end up putting on the little black stand that comes with it. I'm assuming but so far it's not working very well, so that could be a slight negative in regards to this particular figure. It's got to be this foot too, because if you look at the orientation of the shape of the hole there, and you put the foot up to it. Let me see if I can get a clearer shot of this, so that way you guys can actually see it and see what I'm talking about. So there's the foot and the orientation of the foot right there. I mean, it looks like it fits it perfectly. However, in the Fink's voice, however, you will try to get the foot in the peg, and it seems like it goes in, but it's not wanting to stay. I mean, you may have to just push really hard. That might be it. Maybe I guess maybe I'm just kind of afraid of breaking it, because, like I said, it's very, very light, very thin. The stand is the rock formation. So I guess I'm just trying to be a little careful with it. But okay, so there, it holds. You have to put a little force with it. Don't be afraid. It's not going to break this part. It's hollow, and it seems like it's real thin plastic, but it seems to be holding up pretty okay. And I think this would be a figure where that toe articulation would come in handy too. You could probably like pivot the leg a little bit, pivot the foot down. Boom, toe articulation. His heel, okay, so I'm going to hold this up in the air so you guys can see how I've got it posed right now. That heel will stand up like that because of that toe articulation, and it stands perfectly fine just like that. So, there it is. The toe articulation comes in handy for this Doomsday right away. So, there is living proof, ladies and gentlemen, that there is life after toe articulation. So, you could probably, pose them up, maybe something like this. I wish there was, I'm probably going to have to put the flight stand on it somehow. If they see, okay, so this will be, I guess a suggestion, really. Something that, McFarlane maybe possibly could have done with this is that with this little peak here, I don't think it's obviously designed to go into the bottom of Superman's foot like a peg. However, I don't see how else it could go into anything. But to make it more efficient and to make it more of a action scene, they definitely could have made this part almost the exact same mold or point size as this. That way the foot could have fit into it, and you could have given him that like action, like he's flying like this to attack Doomsday or something of that nature. So I feel like that's a tiny bit of a missed opportunity. However, those flight stands, if you are looking for them, you can usually find them at your local Targets. They're about $10. Totally worth it. I mean, I know that you're like, oh, well, I just spent $40 on this 2-pack or whatever you bought if you had to buy it on the secondary market. However, if you're trying to make this scene look great and really make it pop and stand out from the rest of your display, that $10 is worth it, my friend, I tell you. And the nice thing with that is, even if you change your display and you take him off that stand's going to be able to go to any other figure you want. And those stands also, and this is something I actually do have handy, also have this with it, which are suction cups. So you can actually suction cup that flight stand, to a window or something of that nature, and you can put one of your figures that is considered a flying character of some sorts onto that flight stand and use it that way if you ever decide to take old Superman off of it. So not a bad trade-off. And I think in long term, that $10 goes a long way. I mean, I'm not telling you to go buy 6 or 7. Probably not the best idea. However, you have 6 or 7 things you want individually flying all over your room. You do you. Your collection, have it your way. Do what makes you happy, what makes you smile when you look at it. So, all right, enough rambling on. So here it is. This is the Batman Earth 1 and Superman 2-pack. This I'm incredibly impressed with. I think McFarlane nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Like I said, this Batman Earth 1 looks just like the one that came with the Batman Dark Knight's Metal line of individual figures. In fact, it probably is the exact same one. They may have tweaked the colors a little bit. I'll have to go look at reference shots. But regardless whether it's the same or not, beautiful figure, great detail. The colors are just on point. Paint job is incredible. Articulation's wonderful. They got all the articulation right in the legs. The arms could use a little bit of tweaking on the articulation, maybe not make them so loose. But I do get it. I mean, there may even be a way that you can hold Superman up by the arm in his hand or something like that. So I'm not going to rule that out. Maybe that's it. Maybe you can just use... Look at that. Look at that. Just move his feet around and distribute the weight a little bit more. And Doomsday's just going to, like, hold him up. Like get out of here. Like, he's going to hurl him into the sun. So, not a bad thing. I like that. That's a cool idea. I may go with that in the display. So, yeah, there we go. Superman, Doomsday, DC Multiverse, McFarlane. Bang up job. Good sir. Wonderful 2-pack. Thanks for the action shots on the cards and on the back of the package. Please, please, please do more of that. So, guys, that is going to do it for me, Doomsday, and Superman. As always, thank you for checking out the video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or if you just wanted to give me a shout out. And also follow me on Instagram at CollectingRod, where you'll find shots of maybe some of this stuff as well as other things I don't want to do video unboxings for because they're just real short and real quick. So, as always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.